I use a lot of, I try to use technology, not for the sake of it, but to facilitate specific problems or obstacles I've found in students encounter in learning about history or taking history courses. One of the problems which we often encounter is that students perceive there's a sort of distance between the facts, what they think are the facts that they need to learn, and their own expectations of learning. And they can find it a turn-off, I think, in many cases, the conventional lecture style. So what I tried to do to address that was to create my own movies from movie material that's available very easily, and teachers have a particularly privileged, which is that they can use this material without worrying about copyright too much, and put together movies which enable students to visualize very complex or difficult or complicated narratives or concepts in the courses which I teach. This, I find, helps them enormously. In the past, what I've done is create a real-time experience with the movie. So I'd actually speak over the movie. It would be a backdrop, if you like. And what that would allow me to do is to move away from the front of the classroom. The movie would become the focus of the students. It will be stopped and started. There will be various different materials used, not simply movie material purloined from historical film, let's say, but also graphs, documents, all kinds of different things visually represented at the front. I'd be at the back, so students would immediately get a sense of the classroom tipped on its head. They would feel themselves to be much more engaged with the material as a result, and that's, I think, had some success in terms of the feedback that I've received in the course level evaluations. One of the things which I've experimented with, and again, there's been very high take-up rate from the students, because they seem to appreciate it when you use technology for a specific learning purpose. They can see the teachers making an effort, especially made lectures. And in this case, an online scavenger hunt. I used technology to give students an opportunity to go into the downtown area of Hong Kong and scavenge for remnants of the historical fabric of the city. There aren't many left, as you probably know, in Hong Kong, but there are some really interesting hidden fragments of the past. I used an online game, if you like, to sort of motivate them to get out there, to engage with the build form. And then they have to answer in the game. They have to answer a multiple choice question in order to unlock a question which has a document attached to it. So it's a document study exercise, really. But it's sold to them in such a way that it doesn't seem, so shall we say, it's sold in such a way that it engages them rather than putting them off. And they then get to grips with a primary source which relates to the space which they've just visited. They have an itinerary. It's randomly generated, and each group, which is sent off scavengers in different places, so they're not following each other around. And then they come back and we unpack the whole experience. And what they get out of this is a sense of the way in which history relates to their lives in the present day. Also a sense in which there are narratives of the past which they can actually have some input into. And this is the place in which they live. They can begin to see those narratives in relation to those of others, such as developers, let's say. And they can begin to take possession of public spaces in the city, or reinterpret it in their own terms. So this is a very interesting way I found to use technology.